Hey guys, I've got a video for you this week that's just a little different. I recently did an interview with my friend Tasha that I wanted to share with y'all. She helps moms struggling with their individual identity after years of pouring into their family to design a meaningful and sustainable life outside of parenthood, guilt-free. Sounds good, right, Mama? So anyway, we talked about where we got started, our struggles with balance, with content creation. And if you want to see more from Tasha or know where to follow her, I've linked everything below. I hope you enjoy this interview. And if you have any questions for her, be sure to put them in the comments.
All right, we are live in Entrepreneurial Women Living the Rockstar Dream Life, and I'm here with Gwendolyn Gay, who's going to be giving us the rundown on how to make sure we are bringing the most value to our business by not being scared or running away from video content. And if you have had that problem in your business, or you keep seeing and watching other people's videos and then saying, oh, one day, or I need to do this, this, and this, and then I'll be ready, you're going to want to watch this interview. So real quick, before we dive into the content, for those of you who don't know me, my name is Tasha Skillin. I am the moderator and founder of this group, as well as a couple other groups. You see me in here sometimes doing videos about how to make business work, but also the personal life of an entrepreneur. And I'm excited to introduce you to my newish friend. We met a couple months ago, about a month and a half ago, and clicked right away. Gwendolyn, who has been guiding me through my mindset on video content and been my cheerleader behind the scenes on getting some stuff done. And Gwendolyn, why don't you tell us how you got into video content and what you think that we're all missing?
Yeah. Okay. So my story is really unique when it comes to I am a television and YouTube host, but I'm a painfully shy introvert. At least I was up until I went to college. So all the way through elementary school up to, their funniest story my mom always tells is that we went to Europe when I was 6 years old. And, of course, they're wanting to take pictures of everything. I never smiled. I was like trying to get out of the picture all the time. That was me. And I know a lot of people identify with that, but I was super shy, super introverted. And we moved a lot growing up. So I was always the new kid. And I just, that was kind of my life. But my mom and I have three sisters, they're all very extroverted. And so we, as a family, did theater in new towns. So we did community theater as a way to just meet new people, be a part of the community. So I did theater, but it was kind of like I was forced into it,
Yeah.
And I moved to a town my junior year of high school, and I started college actually right after that. So I was 16 when I started my college career. And I was in a show and someone came up to me and said, you should be in our speech and debate team. And I just laughed in his face. To be kidding me. That's not my life. No, thank you. Public speaking, I think not. And so I had a hard time ordering at a table. That's how bad it was.
I think a lot of people have that as kids, and then some of us were never forced to do it on our own. And so I know full-grown adults that still have a hard time with that. So yes, a lot of us.
Yeah, and with acting, it's like I'm not myself. I'm playing someone else, and so I could easily transform into that. But when I had to be myself, and I'm being judged, are you kidding me? No. So anyway, I ended up going out for it. I got in on the team. I was a traveling competitor. I became the youngest captain of the team the next year. And I fell in love with public speaking. And I was like, this is the most hilarious turn of events that anyone has ever seen. And then I said, I want to do this, but I don't want to read the news. I don't want to be a broadcaster. News is really depressing, and I just don't want that to be my life every day.
Right.
And so this was way back when Trading Spaces was on TV. And I was like, what is Paige Davis's job? She's not a designer, right? What is that job called? That's what I want. And found out that's a television host. And I was like, yeah, that's the job for me. So I went out for
fascinating.
I know. And so now I'm a television and YouTube host. I've done things on live national television. And then I went into YouTube, which was extremely exciting, just with the rise of YouTube and seeing it grow, because I started back in 2013 on YouTube, and just seeing the process that it's gone through since even then, but since it started is just insane. And that was really cool to see how it made it's an avenue for these large companies. I was a host for a larger company, where they can have this conversation with their consumers that has never really been out there before, like with ads or whatever. When you're actually creating content for people and they're able to immediately
that's a huge hurdle to overcome from decades of marketing. Yeah, for sure.
Yeah. So it was really exciting to be a part of that. I also learned a ton as a host for a YouTube channel. I realized that YouTube is, because of my training and my background, I was very polished, and YouTube doesn't like polished, like they want you to be super natural and like fun and make mistakes. So that's why I think a lot of people
I'll opt into that one.
overcomplicate video and think they need to be this polished thing. Actually, that doesn't work as well as if you're just being your natural self on camera. And that was, an aha moment for me because of my background as a shy introvert. And I kind of covered that up with this polished veneer, and realizing that being myself on camera actually was more attractive to an audience. And it showed, and it was a wonderful eye-opening experience. But I left my hosting job back in 2017, and I was out in California, and I sold everything. I have 2 young kids at the time. It was a 1 and 2-year-old. And I was like, I'm going to start a business. I'm going to help other people with this. So I help people specifically with YouTube. And now I help people with just video in general, because I think since starting helping people with YouTube, I'm realizing that, I mean, you got to be doing video, period, no matter where you are. And so many people just overcomplicate it. So I was like, this is my calling. I love it. So, it took a long time to get here, but it makes sense. All the things that I lived through, that now I can really help people because my story resonates with the people that I'm trying to help with.
Sure.
I'm so thankful for it.
Yeah. Your 10-year-old self would look at you now and go, what?
Oh my gosh. She would die. She'd be like, no, we're not doing this.
So no, get off this track. Yeah, for sure. Okay, so awesome. So that's a great story, and a lot of hope for those of us who think we need to be polished to be on YouTube, that we have to have a perfectly coiffed hair and makeup and have to have everything perfectly spoken without any stutters, without any hiccups in how you're speaking. Like a lot of that was definitely a challenge for me when I first started doing live video a couple of years ago. So I shared with you before, but I was doing Monday morning videos on my personal page for Motivation Mojo, Monday Mojo. And the reason I did it was because I was terrified of it. I had been doing live presentations in front of actual people for 13 years, but then they get to go away. Like they can't play back what I said or what I didn't say. And so doing the live video on Monday mornings was like, you got to show up and just be yourself. And this is an exercise in like, you're going to repel the people who don't like yourself, and you're going to attract people who like that kind of whatever my version of authentic sharing, sharing boldly. Yeah. And it was awful at the beginning. It was so uncomfortable. And I was like hives and sweating and like just terrified. And after a couple of months, it just became natural. And then when I saw that the more natural I showed up, the more receptive people were and the more connected they were, I'm like, oh, okay. Well, I'm glad I didn't try to be perfect, because I would have never gotten on camera, which is what I know a lot of your students struggle with, right?
Unfortunately,
that perfectionist of like, I'm not quite ready. I need to have all these ducks in a row, dozens and dozens of ducks in a row.
Not just even being on camera. They're like, oh, I need my equipment to be perfect. I can't do this until I have the right lighting. I can't do this until my background's all set up. So I guess I'm not going to do a video today. There's always an excuse, and it always comes back to, this perfectionism, oh, that person is doing it this way. So I can't, I'm going to have to wait until I can do it that way.
For sure. Yeah. And a lot of people, I think, they underestimate the process, like the baby step forward is creating that little pocket of progress of, your lighting is not gonna be perfect right away. You can get to the part where you have better lighting, get to the part where you have better equipment, but you have to start with what you have now. to start getting some momentum. You can't go from nothing and have all the equipment, because then you're going to be really overwhelmed, and the perfectionism is going to come up for you.
So true. So true. Yeah. And in my whole career, like I said, with my performance, I went backwards, right? I went towards the imperfection, and I did the same with my equipment. I started with like really, really fancy stuff. And then like,
interesting.
I realized nobody was believing me that I was saying like, you can do this with your iPhone and, you know, natural light. And everyone's like, sure. Okay. And now if you go to my channel, all you're going to see is stuff that's filmed on an iPhone. So,
I love it. That's so much more palatable for people who are not in a business creating video content exclusively and teaching it. So awesome. Okay, so let's talk real quick about why video is so important for our businesses. I mean, I know we think we know it. We think we keep hearing as entrepreneurs, you have to be living under a rock to not know that video is essential and has become more and more important almost daily as we move forward in our services and our products. But give us some hard facts and some hard realities that we need to hear.
So I get this question a lot, and you definitely touched on it. A lot of people come to me and they say, you know, what platform should I focus on? Where should I focus should I do a YouTube channel? Should I do, you know, Facebook or is Instagram where I should go? Because Instagram's really blowing up, and, you know, or LinkedIn, people are talking about TikTok now. I don't know. Where should I focus my attention? The bottom line is it doesn't matter. If you're not doing video, you're not going to grow. Okay. So if you look at Facebook, a year and a half ago, they started doing this thing where they gave preference to video, and that is recorded and live video. So things that will come, you know, how the algorithm is like, you're not going to see the most recent post. You're going to see something that you haven't seen, you know, that's how the algorithm works. They're going to put a video first. They're always going to put a video.
You're going to see somebody's video in somebody else's newsfeed, possibly from 2 days ago, rather than the copy that you've written on your page today.
A couple of seconds ago. Yeah.
Yeah, that's incredible.
So video is given preference on Facebook. Now, when it comes to live video, we all know that you're going to get a lot more engagement with a live video over anything else. You actually get 6 times the engagement and comments on a live video than you would as a posted video. But also the posted video is still going to get more engagement than just a regular post or a graphic or something like that.
Holy crap. I'm like, I need to do more videos now.
I know. And when it comes to Instagram, which was meant for a photo platform, the most engagement you're going to get is on stories, right? So it's what kills me is when people, and they do this with video too, but with Instagram, they're like, yeah, those people have really nice photos. I bet they paid someone like a lot of money to take those photos. I'm going to do a fun quote on a graphic, and that's going to be my Instagram account, right? And if you go to my Instagram account, you'll see all the photos of me were taken by either my husband or my best friend. If they're outside, they were taken by my best friend in Nashville just because I went to go visit her. And then my husband took my photos of me in my office, all on my iPhone. Okay. So again, you're overcomplicating all your content in general, but when it comes to Instagram, posting is great. You should post every day there, but you're not going to get the engagement that you could get if you were on stories. Like,
that's interesting.
Get your butt on stories. And also, you can do lives there, and you can actually do them at the same time. If you're getting into lives on Facebook, do it on Instagram too. Just do it at the exact same time. So you're not having to
huge for
double
you
your work.
Yeah. A couple weeks ago that I was doubling my work by not having 2 cameras set up at the same time.
Yeah. So I just do Facebook on my computer, and I do Instagram on my phone, and I prop it up, and I can see both going on at the same time. And I say, you know, hey, if you have questions, let me know, but I'm not going to check them until the end, and that type of thing. When it comes to YouTube, like I love YouTube. It's my favorite, but there's a different reason for that. It's not a social media platform. If you go to Google and you type in how to do anything, garden, the first thing that's going to come up is a YouTube video. And the reason for that is because Google owns YouTube, and they're always going to push their own content. If the algorithm deems it more valuable than a blog post, they're going to push a YouTube video. So that's why on YouTube, how-to and instructional videos are just amazing.
Would you say that how-to is the number one video to create?
how to an instructional. Yeah. And if you can find that perfect combination of infotainment where you're actually entertaining and informative,
Right.
then you will do great. But just so you know, you will be found on YouTube and you can be found on Google. And that's why YouTube is so important to be a part of. Now
that it to me, girlfriend.
YouTube just scares people because they're overcomplicating it. But honestly, like if you're putting something out there, and the algorithm deems it valuable, like when you put a live out there and it's like this great value and it's awesome, in 70 posts, it's gone.
Yeah.
On YouTube, it could be there for 2 years, still getting you leads overnight, So it just makes sense.
That's a huge factor, I think, that we as business owners really underestimate is the longevity. Having a video on YouTube is just like 20, 30 years ago, having a billboard over the major freeway or highway where you live, because people are seeing it, they can revisit it, they know where to find it, it stays there. Whereas on these feeds, I can't find stuff on my own feed sometimes that I did 2 weeks ago.
Right. And that's more comparable to like getting an ad in a magazine or a newspaper. Like you saw it, it maybe resonated with you, but you're not going to see it again unless it's in the next newspaper. Right. And you know what I'm saying? So it's
recycled.
A connection. You're making a connection, and that's great, but it's not something, if they're searching for something, you can't search on Facebook.
Yeah. You
can sort of on Instagram with hashtags. But again, the best thing, because people search full sentences, is YouTube, because you can say how to do an above ground garden, right. And like put that content out there.
I love it. After my launch in the next 10 days, now I'm going to be diving into getting all the videos I've been doing on YouTube. Thank you for the push. I haven't even got to the other questions.
Well, I mean, this is content marketing, but I think when we're in the business of coaching and course creation, really the best and most valuable courses you can give someone is a video, course. So if you're stuck on like how to actually create those courses, I help people with that too, because I feel like people overcomplicate that as well. If you can be on camera or you cannot, like you can easily create this valuable piece of content without having to put your face on camera,
I love it. And that goes right into the next question. How does video support a service-based business, and how is it different than a product-based business? Like just high level ideas on this one.
Right. So I actually was talking to someone yesterday who is a Facebook ad expert. And she's like, I'm scared to put myself out there. Like, I don't know what content to create because I'm service-based. I create Facebook ads for people. And I don't want to tell people how to do it if I'm the one needing the job. Right. And I was like, oh, never be afraid of that. I will come to your page and try to find out how to put a pixel on my landing page and find out that you have all this content on how to create an ad and how to blah, 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 and blah, blah, blah. And I will throw my hands up and say, please do it for me. Right.
Because I'm not in my lane trying to do those things.
Yeah. Right. If you are teaching someone a software, if you are teaching someone how, whatever it is, the service that you provide. I know a lot of service-based business, obviously, that are in the digital marketing, realm. So if you teach people, if you're adding that value and someone walks away and actually can apply that to their job and it worked and it saved them so much time, they're going to continue to always come back to you, and they're going to say, this is too complicated, but I know you're the best person for it. Please do it for me. So you're building that trust factor that they can trust you with their business when it comes to having to pay someone else to do the job.
Which is what most of us need to be doing. If your job is not to create Facebook ads or video content, if that is not your actual business, then you should not be doing these things for yourself, by yourself, for the long term. Like, you got to start it yourself initially, but then you got to dole that stuff out. So product-based versus service, what is an idea for a product-based video that you could throw out for somebody?
Yeah. I had a client she was so sweet. She had this jalapeno type of pepper that she was selling, which was, it was amazing.
It's fascinating to me, the number of the cool things that are out there that you don't know until you're working with other business owners. I'm like, I didn't know that was a thing, but now I need one.
I think they were like pickles, like they were jalapeno pickles or something like that. It was this strange concoction that was amazing. And she's like, well, how can I make content around that? I was like, hello, recipes. How would if I bought your product, how would I use it? And then when I watch that video and I say, oh my gosh, that bruschetta with your product on it looks amazing. The only place I can buy that product is from you.
Yeah. That's incredible.
Hello. Yes.
So how to use the product once they have it, not why to buy it, which is
showing people how to use the product is so valuable, because a lot of times people say that's a cool product, but I don't really know how it's going to apply to me. You can make up different instances in your head of like, this person could use it this way. This person could use it this way. One of my favorite, so I am an analog person. I love planners. If you know the Passion Planner, they do a fantastic job on their Instagram account. They create IGTVs with where the employees switch. They get 2 employees and they switch the planners.
Interesting.
And each person looks through the planner and says, I like how Justin uses this, and it's very minimal. And it gives the person watching an idea of how they can use their content planner too, or their
so cool.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
So real quick, you mentioned IGTV. Can you tell us the difference between IGTV and IG stories and Instagram newsfeed for those of us who are still trying to get our heads wrapped around all these different platforms?
Yeah. So Instagram is my second favorite platform because I love it so much. There are 4 different ways you can post videos on Instagram. So you can create a 60-second video, or you can break up a video into 10 minutes and have 60 seconds and swipe, but it'll be on your feed. So 60-second videos on your feed are best done in a square format where the video is actually horizontal and you have the captions underneath, because a lot of people watch Instagram without sound. And that's something to think of for all video is most people, especially on Facebook, watch without sound. So making sure that you always have your caption. And then you've got your stories, which are fantastic. And a lot of people are like, well, they're 15 seconds and they disappear in 24 hours, but they don't have to. If you're creating really great value, put it in a highlight, right? If it's something that you're answering that a lot of your people are asking all the time. I'm coming back this way. Now the sun is.
That's fine. I'm scribbling all these notes.
Okay. You save it in a highlight. So just because that content was valuable and is in a story, it doesn't mean it has to disappear. So make sure you're putting that in highlights. So also you can do a live, like we said, on Instagram, and then IGTV. Now IGTV has to be posted in a different app. So you have to have the IGTV app to post. However, it will go into your feed. So it'll be part of your feed, only the first 60 seconds. And then if they want to watch the full thing, they can, click through and watch the full thing.
That one piece of information right there is so helpful. I didn't realize there's a whole separate app for this.
Yeah. Oh yeah. And it's, I feel like IGTV has really changed the game for Instagram. They started where it was only a vertical video platform. Now, recently, so I think it was in the last maybe 3 months, they've allowed horizontal videos, which means if your video is less than 10 minutes that you put on YouTube, a week later, put it on Instagram, put it on IGTV, even if it's horizontal, because the person can turn their phone and be able to see it there. And the feed, it goes into the feed the first 60 seconds. So that's why, all your videos need to have that call to action and that really quick hook in the beginning, right? So anyway, IGTV changed the game for me, and I went from YouTube being the best to I really like YouTube and Instagram for different reasons, but Instagram is really, really, really powerful now with their IGTV. So, and I think it's the least used. It's not used enough,
and that means that there is a lot of opportunity for you to stand out from your competitors if you're all in on that side of things.
Oh, and I have one last thing about IGTV.
Yeah, spill it.
Okay. All right. So, everybody's looking for that 10,000 followers so they can have the swipe up, right? You don't need it. You don't need it. If you have IGTV, you don't need it. You can make a swipe up to your IGTV.
Shut the front door.
Mm-hmm.
All right.
I'm serious. So for me, when I have a new video out, and I want to do a stories to promote it, and I say, hey, I've got a new video out. It's about blah, blah, blah. Swipe up, and you can see the swipe up without 10,000 followers. The swipe up would go to an IGTV of just a plain graphic that I've made into a video that loops, that just says, click here for the video. Right? The video is about this, click here for the video. So I can, in my stories, drive traffic to another platform or another link without having 10,000 followers.
Brilliant.
Mm-hmm.
I love it. I love it. I love it. I know we could go on for hours because you have so much information.
Sorry. Yeah. Are we taking up?
I don't want to, I know you have things to do. So I want to make sure we get through some of the other things. What are 3 things we should know or do to start making videos this week?
Okay. So I wrote these down because I wanted to make sure that you got, that I got them really concise here. So the 3 things that I want everyone today, if you create a video today, it could be live, it could be recorded, I don't care what it is, but use the tools you know. So use your phone if that's what you know. Don't worry about, having the right mic or lighting or whatever the case may be. Just do a story on Instagram, a live on Facebook, or record something and post it on YouTube. That's all I want you guys to do today, and use the equipment that you know. And then number 2, ask for engagement in the video. Whatever video you do, whether it's a live or a story or whatever. If you're doing a story, my favorite thing to do is a poll, because that's a no-brainer for the person watching. They don't have to think very hard because you only gave them 2 options, right? So if you don't know, there's a place in Instagram stories where you can put a sticker. There's a sticker for polls, right, and just give them 2 options, black or white, whatever the options are. And all the person watching has to do is make one choice. And you're going to start seeing that engagement. That's the best way to test your engagement. With doing a live, make sure that you're saying comment below, or let me know if this resonates. Can I get an amen? Like whatever. And then same with a recorded video. Make sure you're starting with, hey, make sure to subscribe to my channel if you're enjoying this. Comment below if this is something you struggle with. Go ahead and share and like, blah, blah, blah. Make sure you're asking for engagement. And then last thing I want you to do, and if it has to be Tasha, that's fine. If it has to be me, I don't care. Anyone in the group, tell someone you did it. I want you to own up to the fact that you did it. And so we can celebrate it. Let's celebrate it. I don't care how bad the video was. That doesn't matter. The fact that you did it is what matters. And we want to celebrate that. Having an accountability partner is like the most amazing thing. It has transformed my business. As a business owner, I came from the whole 9-to-5 life, and I never thought I would be a business owner. And when I did, I went into that whole plummet of no one's going to know if I don't post. No one's going to know if like this doesn't happen. Right. So you got to tell someone, take on this challenge that you will post today and tell someone that you did it. Okay.
I love it. Yes, I love it. I love it. Those are such great tips. And it's something that even I can see myself doing today. So I appreciate that, because I get a little in my head and then I'm like, oh, I'll just do it tomorrow. I have too much to do today. And I'll do it tomorrow. And then it's been months. So I love that. So one last thing, what are the excuses that you hear people making about not making videos? And then I'm going to ask you to tell us how we can get your help, so we're not overwhelmed by videos. Sure.
Yeah. The why people don't make video is the number one reason is they overcomplicate it. I asked my audience over the past 2 weeks, like, what is your best excuse? And I got so many answers on Facebook. I think you might have seen some of them. Some of them were GIFs and they were hilarious, but they're like in the moment, they're so real, right? For me, it's when I stopped creating content altogether, it was because I could not keep up. I was afraid to put something out there and then not be able to follow up next week. So consistency was a fear for me. Also, I had clients who were paying me. Their time was more important than bolstering my business that is not going to immediately, filming another video that's not immediately going to make me money, right?
Yep.
So all these excuses come up when you're a business owner about creating video content. And honestly, I was overcomplicating it a ton. And now with 2 preschoolers who were not watched full-time, I did not have full-time care. Like I had maybe 2 days a week, half days,
Right.
last year. And
enough.
I know, and they started school last week. So this is the first time in 2 years that I've had childcare.
Yes.
Again, went from a 9 to 5 where they were watched all the time by a nanny. And then I was like, I can do this business thing with my kids at home. No. So time was impossible. I had client work, I had housework, I had, my kids, I was traveling full time with my family because we both owned a business and we were traveling. Creating content was impossible. I just stopped altogether. I had to figure out how I could fit that into my lifestyle. And it was so sad. I'm a video marketer and I stopped creating any content. I archived my group, my Facebook group, because I couldn't go live. I just stopped posting on my channel. Everything stopped. Then in about 3 months, it was
1 second. If you're watching this live, comment or on the replay, comment below if you've had that, like you had a good run and then you just had to back out. You backed out and said, this is too much. I can't keep up with it. I can't keep up with people who are loving what I'm doing. Can't keep up with the engagement. I can't keep up with the content. I have too many things to do. Nobody's going to know that I didn't do videos anymore. Yeah.
Yeah, 100%. And we had 2 deaths in the family too. And it was just like, I was like, my life is too much. I give up. And
what'd you do?
Something had to give. And of course I couldn't drop my clients. I couldn't let them down and I couldn't let my family down. So what was left? My business. I just dropped anything that promoted my business. And then I came up with a system that has allowed me to spend 2 hours a month on my content creation for YouTube, Instagram, Facebook, and LinkedIn.
This is mind blowing because I think a lot of us think that it takes hours and hours and hours to do this. And there's so many pieces to connect and there's so many things to take into consideration. Like you said, we overcomplicate it. But with the system that you've already trialed and errored for us.
Yeah, like a lot. It was a process of elimination. Like, what do I actually need? Let's get bare bones. What can I actually do to move the ball forward? Because consistency is the fastest way to build that trust factor because you're actually showing them that you can show up for them. And so you got to I had to figure out batching. What is the best way to batch my content? What is the best way to repurpose my content? What's the best way to organize my content so that I can use it again? And so, it was a lot of trial and error, but I figured it out. And now it's like my favorite thing to teach because I still feel that place that I was in last year where I was just struggling hardcore to the point where I just stopped altogether. And so I couldn't scale my business. I couldn't scale because I couldn't reach a new audience at all. I wasn't even trying. So anyway.
Well, and that's important for other business owners to realize that we've all had at some point in our business, something that we were doing really well, succeeding at, loving, and consistently showing up for it to some degree. And then real life, personal life got complicated, or maybe clients, you just got an influx of clients that you can't keep, you have to cut something out. And for most of us, especially women, we are cutting ourselves out, what we would want, what we love to do first. That's the first thing to get chopped off of the to-do list. And we end up paying for it in a lot of different ways. But with video content, when you make that the thing that you're consistent with, it's doing triple, quadruple, even more times the amount of work that you would be doing on regular content elsewhere. And it's something that I am really looking forward to digging into for myself more regularly and reading these notes and plastering them for myself so that I see how important it is to do and how much less work you'll have to do when that is what you have in your background. When you've done this consistently for 3 or 4 months, you are going to be in a really solid role, because I've seen it happen when I was in that phase of my initial video content creation. I was like, oh, this is so nice. I have months of things that I can go back and revisit to then talk more about, because the conversation has gone on long enough to be able to do that, which has been fantastic. So you have something exciting coming up, right? And
I do. So I'm calling it The Circle, which is really exciting. And I'm only allowing 30 people into it. I've done this in a form that has been very small group. So small group like masterminds. I've only let 4 people in at a time, and we would go through for like 6 weeks. And now I'm doing it on a much larger scale because people were like, this is not enough time. We need to figure this out. So, so now I'm doing it on a larger scale, but I want to start with 30 people so that I can deliver the best value. My goal for it is that whoever joins the circle, that they will not have to think about video all of 2020, except for once a month. That's my goal.
A month, once a month.
But be consistent on multiple platforms. So that's
huge payoff.
It's absolutely possible. I just cannot wait to give that freedom to so many business owners who really need it. But anyway, so what it entails is teaching the system that I have done. And I actually have a free training where I'm going to go through the importance of the system. And you'll have the link to that. But the system is going to be taught in the circle with real life, like hand holding, showing you through it. We're going to have batch days so that when you need to batch create or batch think of topic ideas or whatever, we're all going to be doing it together. We're all going to get it done, along with the accountability that's so important to business owners today who work by themselves. Like when you think, well, you know, I don't need to post this week because no one's going to notice, we're going to notice. So it's that way to make sure that this puts you in a place where you don't have to think so hard anymore about your content creation, but you're still giving great value to your audience and you're showing up for them even when you don't actually show up.
When you're off doing something fun for the day or taking a nap because you can. And the accountability piece is so important. And I want to make sure we touch on that because we've talked about video the entire conversation, which was immensely powerful and really inspiring. But the accountability piece is the part that we really need to pay attention to, because whether you've always been an entrepreneur or you came from a 9-to-5, you have to be real with yourself about the reality of your own personal accountability. It is a very small percentage of us who can show up every day and knock off everything on our schedule and clock out at the appropriate time and then go home and do our things. Like most of us can't do that. And we've come from an environment where there is built-in accountability. You don't have to say, I'm going to come to work at 9 o'clock on Tuesday to get these things done. It's just expected. And then you do, and then you go to work and you get your things done and you leave. So there's an expected accountability from your boss, from your supervisor, from your teammates that you're working with. And when you go into business for yourself, you lose that piece without really consciously being aware that that freedom that you've now gained from not having to answer to someone also gives you a little bit of a weakness by not having to answer to someone.
Yeah. And it's not like you're slacking off. It's not that you're putting something else ahead of what is important. The urgent always trumps the important. And for me, when I was trialing and erroring this system, I did the orb system and it worked. And I was like, this is awesome. And then I let it dissipate. Like I did enough and then I didn't make any more. And so it obviously, my bank of content ran out.
Right.
So the missing link was the accountability. So they have to work together in order to actually be successful. And it's been a lot more fun because I actually have people that I get to bounce ideas off of. Like, hey, is this something like, there's people that are my target audience in there that I can say, is this something that would be valuable to you? You know, does this make sense? And being able to not only have someone who keeps me accountable, but bounce ideas off, or, hey, can you come into my group and talk about something that's adding value to your audience with very little effort for you. So like being able to find that collaboration is so huge, because as business owners, we come from that environment in the 9-to-5, but we lose it completely in our businesses. So,
and being in an environment where there's accountability and you're all working towards the same goal allows you to do honest and genuine networking, which we don't also do when we're in our houses or homes doing our business from our laptops. Right. And so you can network in a really effective way, and you get to know people in their working process to find out the value that they can offer. I mean, that's literally how you and I met each other.
Yeah, I know, right?
Is this experience of accountability, being in the community who's working towards the same goal, wanting everyone else to succeed because it's inspiring and exciting. You are building a community that's intentional and rewarding and really motivational by just showing up to do the thing you should be doing for your business anyway. So I'm super excited. I will be one of those 30 if you will allow me. And I'm really excited about seeing how many of the other rock stars in this group and anywhere else are ready to go all in and make this content that's going to really pay off tenfold down the road. So we're going to link up all the things that you can connect with Gwendolyn on. And as well as the link to the special live training that she's doing. That's, you said it's free, right? Free.
Oh yeah. Free training. It's a free training series. So as long as you're in the group, if you can't be there while I'm going live, you'll be able to see the videos, but I am archiving the group at the end on the 27th. So you have to be in the group in order to be able to watch those trainings.
Fantastic. Well, thank you so much for coming in today and sharing this with our group.
Thanks for having me.
I cannot wait to start making a list of all the things I'm going to do until your group, to your program starts going. I will be part of the circle. If anybody has any questions, Gwendolyn is very fast to respond. She's incredibly, as you can tell, very easy to talk to. Go ahead and reach out to her and then join her Facebook group so you can see what's coming up next and be totally in tune with the trainings that she's going to be doing. And if you have any questions for either one of us, feel free to message us. Thanks again, girlfriend. I'll talk to you soon.
Thank you. All right. Bye-bye.